Austin didn't turn pro till he was 28. They're both 6'6". A 2-inch arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist for Austin. He weighed in at 247, Klitschko 246.5. Rules of the bout. And we'll take a quick look at the rules under which they'll be fighting here in Germany. No 3 knockdown, only the referee can stop the fight. Scorecards, after 4 rounds, if the fight is stopped on a cut or a butt or a low blow foul, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round significant with 2 guys who regard themselves as large punchers. And here comes Ray Austin, who, as you can see, has had 4 draws in his last 13 fights, but has managed to scratch his way to an unbeaten record during that period of time.
What I see that is solid in Ray Austin is that in addition to being a big guy, he has shown that he can be game in a fight. He showed that in close quarters, he'll let his fists fly. And as Vladimir Klitschko said, you can expect an opponent to be 10% or more better than he's ever been when he gets this chance.
Lennox, we asked Vladimir yesterday, is there a chance that somebody as lightly regarded as Ray Austin can knock you out? And he said, this is heavyweight boxing.
Anybody that weighs over 240 pounds can knock you out. They just have to throw the punch, and if your chin's in the position and you get caught, you can go down. So there's always a danger of boxing a big guy.
Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko originate from Ukraine. They grew up largely in Kazakhstan. Their father was a Soviet Air Force general, but they began their professional boxing careers here in Germany, have cultivated them here in Germany, where they are, Larry Merchant, cult heroes, and we get a cult hero entrance for Vladimir.
Yeah, it's sort of a Wagnerian operatic entrance.
Yes, I do remember he was very strong.
Apropos of the Dr. Steel Hammer nickname, a blacksmith.
I mean, that most time I fought him, he felt like Steel Hammer.
As the crowd enjoys videotape of Klitschko knocking out Bird.
Hit me like a cannonball. I guess his right hand came like a cannonball and hit me and knocked me down. He's definitely deserves his nickname.
Bird has accused him of having a steel chin.
Is this kind of entrance an honor, a pressure, or a distraction, Lennox?
Well, it depends. I would say it's an honor, but I don't believe that Vitaly is bothered by it because he's such a focused individual, as you can see by his eyes as he walks down. You know, Vladimir is in his own world. He's focused on the fight. He knows what he needs to do in there, and I think he wants to do it. But these are the kind of entrances he's used to in Germany, and he's always gone through them throughout his career.
He looks like the statue of David come to life.
And you see Emmanuel Stewart leaping into the ring before him, all business, hoping to keep his fighter focused amid the hoopla.
Vladimir is very focused as well. You know, you don't even see him crack a smile. That's how serious and focused he is.
Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor the homeland of the challenger and the champion, we have 2 national anthems. First, for the challenger, the national anthem of the United States, to be sung by Brigitte Ulka.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts that we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reckless, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the champion, the national anthem of Ukraine, performed by Ruslana.
Ще не вмерла України ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття молоді, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці. Запануєм і ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, K2 Promotions is proud to present 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. Brought to you in association with Don King Productions, HBO World Championship Boxing, and RTL. Sponsored by CAPS, the natural drink. Sanctioned by the German Boxing Organization, supervisor at ringside, Mr. Lothar Neumann. The International Boxing Federation, President, Ms. Marian Mohammed. The International Boxing Organization, President, Mr. Ed Levine. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this bout on the 10-point system are: from England, Mr. Roy Francis. From the United States, Mr. Steve Weisfeld. And from Australia, Mr. John Wright. And inside the ring, the man in charge of the action at the bell, from the United States, referee Mr. Eddie Cotton. And now, ladies and gentlemen, und jetzt, meine Damen und Herren, von Mannheim, Deutschland, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the red corner, wearing silver with black, official weight, 112 kilograms, or 247 pounds. Professional record, 24 victories, including 60 knockouts, with 3 defeats and 4 bouts even. From Cleveland, Ohio, USA, the IBF #1 ranked heavyweight challenger in the world, Ray, the Rain Man Austin. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing burgundy with gold, official weight 111.8 kilograms or 246 1/2 pounds. His professional record, 47 victories, including 42 knockouts, with 3 defeats. From Kiev, Ukraine, the 2-time world heavyweight champion, the reigning and defending IBF, IBO heavyweight champion of the world, the Steel Hammer, Dr. Vladimir Klitschko.
You both received my instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands. Protect yourself at all times. All right, let's touch gloves. I expect a good, clean fight. Go.
Vladimir Klitschko believes that Austin's only chance is to come out and try to catch me. Is that what Austin has in mind?
Lennox, I'm reminded of the night in Madison Square Garden when a vastly less experienced Michael Grant, equally your size, in fact 2 inches taller, actually went after your chin in the first round. You took a couple big shots. Ultimately, the strategy backfired against him. Let's see if that's what Austin will try to do.
Yes, Austin seems like he just wants to give Vladimir some movement and show him some different angles right now before mounting an attack. Well, at any second, Vladimir's got a right hand that comes out like a torpedo, so Ray better watch it.
Austin has been in the past, by his own admission, a relatively stationary fighter. Says that one of the things he's been learning with new trainer Stacy McKinley is the movement and the chance to use his feet a little bit. Obviously trying to show that in the first round to perhaps initially nullify the Klitschko jab. Once Austin settles in on his feet, Vladimir can be expected to go to work trying to pump the jab. It's what set up knockouts against both Bird and Brock. There's a left hook from Klitschko, an early use of that punch, which he throws perhaps better than most other fighters in the division. Austin pawing with the jab. Klitschko may look for a chance to counter over it.
Well, it looks like he's setting something up right now. He's setting Austin up with a jab, left hook, which is a great punch for him because Austin doesn't really keep his hands too high. And anytime Austin throws a left hook or a jab, that right hand kind of drops to the side of his face a little bit.
Austin flicking his jab out, but well short of Klitschko's distance. Klitschko stuffs his jab into Austin's grill.
See what happens in situations like this. Klitschko's throwing that jab, which is going to hurt him. And Austin's going to say, listen, I don't like that jab. And he's going to put his hand up to protect against it. Then Klitschko's going to come around with a left hook.
Vladimir able to snap his jab into Austin's face early. Austin has been short with his jab. Austin tries a left hook. Vladimir partially blocks it with the right hand. Klitschko very focused in the first 2 minutes. None of the kind of drift that we saw, for instance, against Corey Sanders the night that he was knocked out before an adoring crowd here in Germany. Now Austin begins to find his range, stepping in just a little bit to land a right hand to the body. Earlier he landed a jab. Gets the jab into Klitschko's face again.
Klitschko is, I should say, Austin's been a little bit successful with a light jab, trying to outbox someone who everyone believes is the better boxer.
Vladimir's showing some good patience here. Maybe he should pick up his jab just a little bit more, but showing good poise and patience. Doesn't waste too many shots. He doesn't like to waste too many shots like any heavyweight does, but he's very successful and very accurate with it.
3 of the last 4 fights have gone the distance for Ray Austin, so he's not unaccustomed to going 12 rounds. Vladimir Klitschko would seem to have won that round fairly easily on the scorecards.
His speed can't match your speed. Totally in a different class. You got any butter or something on it? Okay. His speed is just so slow. You're starting to get to him with the hook here. Just start picking it up a little bit more. These 2 right here, he'll never see the right hand because he's getting frustrated because every time he's trying to go, you're going back. Now he's kind of hesitating. So I'd work it to him a little bit more with this your hand, okay? Just get busy with your left hand. And the other's the right hand, he'll never see it. But start working, okay? Don't get over anxious. You're doing all right? Keep stepping with that double jab. Put the straight right hand to the body sometime, all right? Okay, relax. There ain't nothing to it. Give me that.
Nothing to it but to do it.
Okay? Y'all boxing that round. This guy's slow. But watch it, because he's going to try to crack his left hook right hand, all right? Let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Stacey McKinley trying to convince his fighter that Vladimir Klitschko's slow. McKinley well aware of what Emmanuel Stewart's cooking up in the other corner, where Stewart was saying get busy with the left hand, set up the right, and Austin will never see it. So far, Vladimir Klitschko hasn't thrown a single right hand. Austin's corner not asking for too much offensively. Just want him to try to land a double jab, maybe get in a right hand to the body. Klitschko being cautious as he approaches toward a closer distance. Vladimir mixing the hook with the jab, still throwing exclusively the left hand.
Now, I've always said that Vladimir has great footwork. In this fight, you don't really see it yet because he's on a prowl right now. He's just trying to set up Ray Austin to try and lower that torpedo-like right hand he's got.
There's a big left hook from Klitschko, and the second left hook knocks Austin down.
And that's the left hook I was telling you about. Sets it up with a jab, and then he comes across with a left hook. I don't think Ray Austin's going to beat the count. It's over.
Is done on two left hooks from Vladimir Klitschko, who never once had to unleash his right hand in the fight. And Larry Merchant, you suggested Austin was outclassed. That turns out to be prophecy.
Yeah. Regarding the left hand of Klitschko, too much of a good thing, as Mae West said, is a good thing.
And you know, if Klitschko didn't hit him with that left hand, that right hand was coming. So, you know, that's his arsenal. A great left jab, hard left jab, which keeps you occupied. Then he throws that left hook, which has just amount of the same power, even more power. And if Ray Austin would have caught that on his glove, that right hand was definitely coming across.
How do you account for Austin, a guy who went the distance in 3 of his last 4 fights against Donald, Beck, and Ibragimov, going down on 2 left hooks, and Klitschko didn't even seem to really unload on those punches?
No, I mean, you know, I said it was a relatively easy fight for Vladimir, and it was. But mentally, the fight is always hard because you never know what the other guy's going to bring. You know that the other guy is going to have the biggest fight of his life, and this is his big chance, and he's the underdog, and he's going to take some chances out there. So.
But he wouldn't take the chances.
No, he didn't take the chances.
Lennox, he refused to take the chance. Everybody thought, well, maybe he can catch him.
Let's take a look now at the double left hook. Boom. There's the first one. I think Austin's gone after that. The second left hook gets into his face. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think
there are actually 4.
There was 5.
Yeah.
Well, with a glancing blow on the 5th. I give him credit for a double left hook. I think Austin's basically gone after the first one, wouldn't you say, Lennox?
Yeah, he was hurt from the first one. And, you know, Vladimir set that up pretty good because if you look at where Austin was on the ropes, you know, he had no way of getting out of the way of that because the ropes was behind him.
Jim, as I said earlier, his triumph was just getting here.
An unlikely genesis for Ray Austin to make it to a title shot after not having turned professional until age 28. We mentioned the left hook is a punch that Vladimir Klitschko throws perhaps better than anyone else in the division. Austin was clearly looking for right hands and seemed never to really see that coming, Lennox.
Right. I mean, it's a situation where, you know, you have limited talent and you're up against a guy that has a lot of talent, and this is his house, really, and you're just really glad that you got a chance to get here. And these kind of situations, you have to try and take advantage of it. It's all or nothing. If you're in this kind of situation, you have to go for it.
What about a sport where you knock out Calvin Brock in November, you take a couple months off, you functionally start to get ready to go back into the gym, you train hard for nearly 3 months, you come in against a guy who you know is overmatched, but you have to focus, you have to pay mental attention to the fact that he's 246 pounds and he can hit you. And it's all done in 4.5 minutes, and now you know your weight probably another 6 months to try to make a further mark on the division. Isn't it extremely frustrating to try to do this?
Well, it's frustrating and deeply mental. You know, you coming into a boxer guy like this, and you know the money's going to be less because it's a mandatory, and you know there's other bigger fights out there for you that you want, and you have to wait for them. There's a whole heap of politics in the sport that's going to allow you to wait for them, and this is where the sport becomes mental for you, and that's what you have to contend with.
He wanted to fight Oleg Moskaev tonight. They couldn't put together the business details of a possible challenge against Moskaev, who is now waiting to fight his mandatory challenger, possibly Sam Peter, or possibly Vladimir's brother Vitaly, moving back into the picture and cherry-picking a spot like that. We asked Vladimir yesterday if it's not a distraction to him at this moment for his brother to return to the sport, and he didn't seem, Lennox, in my view, to say no to that.
No, I mean, it's always great to have your brother in the sport, especially when both of you said that you both want to have heavyweight championship crowns, and yeah, he's definitely succeeded in that. You know, I'm shocked that Vitaly's back. Vitaly said he wouldn't come back unless I came back. I didn't come back, but he still came back, so he missed the sport more than I do.
Well, and it will wait to see whether Vitaly Klitschko can actually negotiate the politics of getting the shot against Moskaev. It's not definite yet. Whether he can then make it through a training camp without being injured. He was injured in training 3 consecutive times, waiting to fight Hasim Rahman. And Vladimir Klitschko seemed to say yesterday, I'm no longer focused on the notion of us both being champions at the same time. My goal is to solidify the division for me.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he's focused. Like I said, he's just got one goal in mind. He wants to become undisputed heavyweight champion for the whole heavyweight scene right now, and he's on his way.
And incidentally, now Vladimir Klitschko gets to show off another of his human talents, because in the sequence of events which now follows in the ring, he'll conduct a live interview in German for German television. He'll conduct a live interview in English for American television, us, with Larry Merchant. He'll conduct a live interview eventually in Russian for Russian television, and probably a Ukrainian interview for Ukrainian television as well prior to leaving the ring.
That's a lot of interviews.
That's a lot of interviews, and that's a lot of middle demand for a guy who's trained for 3 months to prepare to knock somebody out.
I think the fight, if Moskaev and Vladimir fight, I think that's going to be a great fight, because I think Moskaev is a great, tough warrior that works hard, and, you know, tough hombre. It's going to be a good matchup.
What about a matchup down the road which tantalizes a lot in boxing? A potential rematch between Vladimir and Sam Peter, whom he defeated a couple years ago via unanimous decision in Atlantic City, but in a fight in which he tasted the canvas 3 times. Peter, since then, still has the punching power and seems to have improved as a boxer.
Well, that would be a good fight as well. I think that, you know, Vladimir will be a different boxer right now. You know, like I said, he's becoming into himself as a professional, becoming more seasoned, and learning a lot more and enjoying it, and that's the main thing.
You were knocked out twice in your career. Once when Oliver McCall got in a lightning shot in one of those mandatory challenge situations you talk about in London.
I don't know where that punch came from, but my chin was in the way of it.
And then later, when you underestimated the difficulty of going to Johannesburg, South Africa, and really short-circuited yourself in training by not going to a high-altitude city until too late, giving Hasim Rahman the chance to catch you with the big right hand. You were able to answer both those situations because business circumstances allowed you to get back into the ring with those guys, and you knocked them out. Does Vladimir, somewhere in the back of his mind, want to fight Corey Sanders, who embarrassed him here in Germany, and Layman Brewster, who got him in Las Vegas after having been lambasted through the first 4 rounds?
I'm sure he does. He's a competitor like myself, and you know, competitors don't like the fact that they have something over their head. And he's got something over his head with a couple losses, and obviously he wants to regain those losses and revenge those losses.
Does this move him, in your view, any closer to solidifying his hold on the division, or was this just biding time?
It was biding time, plus it moves him closer because it gets Ray Ostina out of the way. Like I said, this is mandatory, and, you know, mandatory is like a thorn in your side. You never know what to expect. You can go in the ring, you could get cut, you could hurt yourself, and, you know, they always give you a big mental battle with yourself.
All right, Vladimir Klitschko is with Larry Merchant right now. Let's go there.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Vladimir. I think your kite surfing is almost as easy as this was tonight.
I didn't expect that it's going to be as easy as it was. And it was easy, actually, because Ray Ostina was much slower than my sparring partners. And I also have to mention that he was very sharp with his critiques regarding my balls, my chin, and my stamina, and also my heart. But I think the best answer, I keep my mouth shut and I better fight. And after the fight, we can talk about everything else, and especially about the future.
Well, as you said, the dogs bark and the caravan moves on. Were you surprised that he didn't come out and try to catch you early? Because you yourself said that was his big chance.
Of course, that's the only chance, which is actually maybe most of the fighters have. But, yeah, try to catch me.
I know you're happy, of course. It's easier to say it's easy to do than it is to do. But do you want the real challenge to fight the best out there, to try to unify the titles?
I didn't choose this opponent. This is mandatory title defense. And I have to fight Ray Ostina. And I'm looking forward to unify the titles. Doesn't matter who's going to be the next.
Your brother is coming back. Does his comeback in any way affect your desire to unify the titles and be recognized as the heavyweight champion?
I am happy that my brother is healthy and he's ready to continue his career. And of course, right now we have a good chance to become that brothers who become a champions at the same time. It was never in history, and we were dreaming and talking about it so much, but we never got it. We were kind of missing it, very close, but now we have really good chance. So doesn't matter who is next, we will split it between brothers, 2 for Vitaly, WBA, WBO maybe, and IBF, WBC maybe for me, so, or the either way.
Thank you very much. Congratulations again, Vladimir.
Thank you very much.
You know, finally this thought, as distant as any unification now looks, because the sanctioning bodies and the promoters, whatever they say, really don't want to see it happen. And all of us want to see a dynamic and dominant heavyweight champion that captures our interest and our imagination. But as the saying goes, can we let the good be the enemy of the perfect? Vladimir Klitschko may not be a perfect heavyweight. There are no perfect heavyweights, but he's a pretty damn good one. Jim?